What up, YouTube? Once again, it's on. It's your boy Damien with my lovely co-host Shannon. How you doing, Shannon?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How was your weekend this weekend?
Pretty
It's Fourth of-
uneventful.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't do much for Fourth of July.
I didn't do anything. Went out and had a drink and some food, and that was it. That's all I did.
I heard that. I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched some. I had the kids watch some fireworks, but otherwise, we just kind of kept it low key. All right. Yeah, we saw this thumbnail. Tonight's show is going to be about whether or not men prefers submissive or independent women. Now, this topic was actually brought to us by Miss Shannon. She sent me a clip of she sent me one of the clips that we're going to be reviewing today, and had some thoughts on it. So I wanted her to save it for you guys so you can enjoy the conversation. I don't know that there's a war going on, Miss Shannon. Did you know there was a war going on? And I'm not talking about what's going on in Ukraine. Did you know there was a war going on? The war is between women. Women are going to war with each other over one word, and the word is submissive. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why this word jumped back up into public eye or what have you, but all of a sudden, women are going crazy on it. It all started with this one interview that there's a content creator named Shan Booty that does a weekly interview podcast, and she had Jasmine Brown, who's currently dating Cam Newton, on there, and she was just asking about her relationship. So let me go ahead and bring that up, and after we bring that up, we got two amazing guests. We got I'll introduce them when they come up, but they're going to give their perspective on it because I think they have some interesting perspective on the dirty word of the day, which is submission. So let me go ahead and get this started. I'm going to start off with Shan's video. Let me go ahead and do that. Share my screen. All right. Can y'all see that?
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
Like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning. I know how you are about midday. I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And when I talk to my girlfriends about it, I was like, oh, how are you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like he's rotten. But I love that. Like I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining, but my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself. But now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like that's who I am. Like if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest, So know what that means. And that works for us because he wants what I have to offer.
What are you getting from all that you're?
All right. So that was the video that started the whole civil war between women. Is submissive really appropriate in the modern age? Can modern women be truly submissive? Or are they forced with the actions of men to be and remain independent? Now, that really sparked caught the attention of Brittany Renner. I don't know if everybody knows who Brittany Renner is. I'm sure you do. She's quite the known for dating celebrities and what have you. Wrote a tell-all book to kind of expose what goes on in the real world of women who date celebrities. So she had a very definitive response to it. So I'm gonna play that, and this is the clip that Shannon sent out. So let's take a look at that, and then we can get together with our guests and comment on that. What's going on with Brittany? Oh,
Submissive, per its definition, is ready to conform to the authority or will of others. The prefix sub means under. Think of subpar, submarine. In short, your world is under his. Now, there seems to be a theme here. Good girls versus bad girls. A lock that can be opened with many keys is a broken lock. And if you can't submit to a man, you're not. So my question to men is, do you want perfect belly? A puppet? A prisoner? Or a partner who has no problem overtly challenging you? King treatment and knowing your partner's love languages, that's one thing. Being submissive is a whole nother thing. It's its own thing. If you find yourself abandoning your wants, needs, desires to make something work, I'm here to tell you, it was never a match to begin with. It's painfully obvious why men love the idea of a submissive woman.
all right. All right. That was the video that Shannon shared to me right now. Will share with me. So I'm gonna go bring up our guest right now. My first guest is a man I know very well. He's probably one of the smartest, most intelligent brothers who is got a lot to say on many subjects, and I respect his opinion immensely, more than I do most. I want to bring up, I'm just gonna put it out there. This is my cousin. He is an amazing cat. Bring up, Mr. TJ. How you doing, Mr. TJ?
How y'all doing? What's going on?
What's going on?
Hi.
Not much. Pleasure to have you.
Appreciate you.
All right. Cool. All right. Now we're going to bring up the woman you know and love, the woman who is our point of reference when it comes to everything hot, sexy, and spicy. Miss Jazz, a.k.a. Miss Hot Wife Uncensored. How you doing there, Miss Jazz?
I'm
Hey, Jazz.
amazing this afternoon or this evening. How are you guys?
Good.
Great. Thank you.
Man, so we got two really good guests today. So we're going to kind of jump into this thing. Now, first of all, I kind of want to show you some of the reaction that both of the people have been getting when the woman who was interviewed by Shan Body is Jasmine Brown. She's actually dating Cam Newton. So everything she was talking about was what things she was doing for Cam Newton, which, I guess in today's vernacular would be considered a high value man. 6 foot, 6 figures, 6-pack abs, all the things that a lot of women, when they reach a certain age, are looking for. So she's got so much, like I would say about 90% of her replies were all negative, but the thing about her is she really didn't care what people have to say. So she jumped on there and was like, be right back. Got to scratch my man's be right back. Got to scratch my man's back. So she really could care less what a lot of women were talking about, and it's just funny. Like that post only got 14 likes and 57 like reshares or what have you. Oh, so excuse me, 161 likes and 57 like reshares. Now here's what happened when the people responding to Brittany Renner. Remember, Brittany Renner was the girl that a lot of women kind of dismissed as like a thought, like a slut or whatever, or a cleat chaser out to secure the bag at any cost. All of a sudden, she went from being all that to speak queen. You the queen now. And it's B Simone. So we know B Simone. We don't take what she say. I don't know if you know who B Simone is. She's the queen of plagiarizing other people's work. But she put it out there as like speak queen. I mean, and then it was just like an avalanche of people jumping on the same thing. Y'all not gonna like it simply because it was her saying it, but she's not wrong. Submissive is the only thing needed to make a relationship work. The obsession with submission is tiring. It's embarrassing too. Stop letting the world know the women you choose done. I think she mean don't trust your leadership. You know, and then one person actually, if I was able to find one where somebody said positive, kind of set the record straight. You know, actually being submissive means trusting a man to be the leader, protector, and provider. That's he's supposed to. He's not about being controlled. It's not about being controlled or beneath him. The fuck. All right, so I just kind of want to get y'all take on it. I'm gonna let TJ go first. So, do you feel like men today are looking for more submissive, or more independent women?
So let me speak on what Jasmine Brown said first. I love every single word that she said. She said what she wants to do for her man. Nowhere in there did I hear her say anything about giving up her dreams, or like she said, I like to cater to my man. If she found her a good man that she wants to cater to, I'm all for it. I honestly don't even get the backlash. I don't, and I listened to the clip. I don't remember her using the word submissive in that clip, unless I missed it. But I appreciate everything that she said about how she wants to treat her man. That's her prerogative. I actually see nothing wrong. I do think, even in this new day and age, that men still prefer, and I'm gonna just use the term because that's the term that we're using, submissive women. And by that I don't mean trying to belittle them, make them seem like they're less than, but maybe that like traditional role. So for example, like the woman's gonna come on and cook, man's gonna take out the trash. Like rarely do I see women out in the backyard cutting, like mowing grass. That's more of a man thing to do. So I do think men prefer submissive women in the sense that we're talking about today.
Okay, I'm gonna get to Shannon and Jazz. So I just want to kind of piggyback off something you said. Why do you think that more men are having trouble obtaining these submissive women? If you feel like most men are looking for submissive type women or traditional women.
So it's a non-traditional world, and by that I mean women don't need men the way that they used to, 30, 40 years ago, when women weren't expected or even like wanted to be in the workplace. Women got their own shit nowadays. It just kind of is what it is. So they don't necessarily need a man. And I'm assuming Jasmine Brown doesn't. I won't say need and, because like you said, that you got six figures, so I'm sure she can always use that income. But I'm sure she could find her either another man, or she could support her herself. So I think women are a lot more independent, so they don't necessarily need a man, so they're less submissive than they used to be in the past.
Okay, now Shannon, you sent this out to us. I want your take on the whole situation right now.
Well, I mean, I think that she was accurate in breaking down the textbook definition of submission, and I think that submission happens naturally when a space is being provided for there to be. So what I tend to see is a lot of guys desiring it, demanding it, speaking on it, but they are not capable of providing a safe space for it to happen. And I think that when a man does that, submission happens organically. You don't even have to talk about it. You don't have to ask for it. It's just going to happen. And to add to that, high value is different for everybody. For me, high value is a man who is loyal, who is faithful, who is honest, who has integrity, who's giving, okay, and a man who has submitted to something himself. Submission is a two-way street, okay? So as with anything in life, it's all about balance. And when you have a good mother, she doesn't have to walk around and say, oh, I'm a good mother, I'm a good mother, I'm a good mother. Her children are going to reflect that. So that's really my take on it. But there's absolutely nothing wrong. I don't understand the backlash for, a woman who chooses, because what I saw instantly was what I said when I saw that video of her describing the things that she does for him. The first thing that crossed my mind was, well, he's a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a guy. She's packing his bag and unpacking his bag. That tells me that he's taking trips. He's going out there and securing the bag. He's out there making money. Okay. So she has no problem doing those things for him. And now that because initially I didn't know who her man was, but now that I know who, of course she's going to do all of that. You damn straight. She's probably living the lifestyle that most of us could only dream of. So she better pack his bag. She better unpack his bag. She better know what he needs and when he needs it. Because, hey.
Okay, so you're saying it's a price tag on that. There's a price tag that comes with submission because of who he is.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that he is providing, obviously, he's providing a safe space for her to be what it is that she is, or what it is that he wants her to be. And for me, it's never all about the finances. The other things that I named are truly more important, because I think we've seen a lot of times where women get with these rich, high value guys, and then they turn out to be monsters. I don't want someone who's rich and he's a monster. I would rather have those other things. And if he is financially successful, well, then, that's definitely the icing on the cake. But a man has to provide that safe space for the woman to be submissive. And like I said again, I'll say it again, it'll happen organically. It'll happen naturally.
Okay, so if all those things that you said you needed, that you feel like, would make you inclined to be a little bit more submissive, if he had all those things and it came in a 5'7", 40,000 a year, 47,000 a year package, would you be still inclined to value those other things so highly that you want to submit? Or you'd be like, would you still be on the nah, I can't do it if he was average height and made average black man income?
Average height. I'm only 5'3".
Look at her face. Look at her.
It doesn't take much height to impress me. You just have to be taller than me, I guess. But to be honest, I feel like especially if two people are living together, I guess that's when you would really get to see a woman fulfill her role, I guess, as a woman. And if things are missing, I'll speak from experience. If things are missing, if I don't feel like a partner, if I don't feel valued, if I don't feel cherished, it doesn't really matter how much money you have. Naturally, I'm not going to feel safe. You know what I'm saying? Being 100% submissive.
Is a partner truly submissive, or is that is that something else? If it's submissive, you have to kind of be comfortable with the role that you are underneath this person's guidance. So you wouldn't necessarily be a partner. You would. I think you'd be more of kind of like a kind of a help to where their plan is going, and you kind of cross the T's and dot the I's and make sure the fine tune stuff. You curate the peace and the serenity for the person that's on his purpose. So I don't know if partnership and submission can go hand in hand. I'm just asking a question. I'm just wondering.
In my opinion, like I said before, submission is a two-way street. So definitely there's partnership. Women are earning just as much money as men. I think that, women are out there earning, creating. And if it wasn't for the contributions of women, this country wouldn't be what it is. Women's contribution is one of the reasons why this country is so great, why we all enjoy a lot of freedoms. So I think it's a two-way street. And if you look in the Bible, I think it more speaks to that. It doesn't say anywhere where the woman has to be underneath or
Well, okay,
behind.
if you go there with it, because it says that Eve was made to be a help to Adam, not to not to walk with him hand in hand, not to. It was like he was made to be a help to Adam, which means like help when whatever he's got going, you help it and make it happen, make the back
Yeah,
end stuff.
I don't
Go
really
ahead,
know all the specifics of the Bible, but I was just somebody I
go
had
ahead,
I was
seen
just,
something.
DJ.
I was going to ask Shannon. So you mentioned the term creating space. Doesn't there have to be some type of financial component to that? Because my assumption is that Jasmine isn't working. That's Jasmine Brown isn't working. Because I'm assuming if she's working, busting her ass every day, she's not coming home and packing luggage, unpacking luggage, scratching his back. Maybe, but I'm assuming there has to be some type of like financial component to that space, to where she's kind of chilling, possibly, during the day, and then when he comes home, like that's kind of when her job starts.
Definitely finances would be a component. Um, but as I stated, I think that it's really about balance. Um, but you definitely, I will say definitely in today's world, the more money a man has, the easier it is for him to get whatever it is he wants,
That's true.
including somebody extremely young who will do whatever he wants her to do.
That's
Um,
true.
and I've seen it. But what I don't really see is it working out for the long haul.
All right. Okay, Miss Jazzy. What's your take on the whole situation? How do you feel about all that? Where's your position on it?
So I think it's really a great topic. I find it very interesting that we are using the word submission in this way, right? So when we're talking about submission, which let me state for the record, because I understand that sometimes people have a real hard time comprehending what someone else is saying. So let me be clear that I believe that women should submit to their man, their husband, whoever that person is. However, let's be very clear on what I am saying. What I am saying is that I do agree with Shannon that a man's job is to make a woman feel safe. And it doesn't matter how many times we say the same stuff on every single damn platform. Men aren't listening. You guys are not listening. Like, women must feel safe. Once a woman trusts you, TJ, once your wife trusts you, Dame, like, then we're able to rightfully submit, like, okay, babe, you got it. Okay, cool. Because we know 100% you got our back. We know 100% you have the best interest in the household, the children, everything. You've considered it all. So why buck up against the system of it? There is no need. As far as using the word like, oh, you're not a team, you are a helpmate to that person. Here's the thing. This is how I just see life. Like, even in my household, there's hierarchies, right? But that doesn't mean that I created my daughter and she needs to do what the hell I tell her to do when I tell her to do it. She is still to be respected as her own person within the construct of the family unit. And everybody has a position to play. It's just like on basketball. Like, the center probably could do a hell of a lot of other stuff that the guard do, but the center need to play the center's role. The guard need to play the guard's role. Like, it's not that hard, and we're making everything like so, like debating. And if that lady if she is not working or whatever she got going on, I didn't know Cam was her man either. I actually heard this yesterday when I was driving back from Florida, and I just thought it was the silliest conversation I had ever heard. So I turned it off. I didn't know that this was a real thing. I thought these girls were just like having a rant on the radio. I was like, oh, shut up. Like, that's stupid. Like, don't everybody know that? But nope, we're really having a conversation. Like, I just think honestly, everything has its position, and That's just how I see it. And there's nothing wrong with women wanting to submit. And I am a firm believer that when men stand in their rightful place, not in a position of moving in a woman's house and then telling her to submit, not driving that woman's car and then talking about she need to submit, right? But like really, let's work with $30,000. Let's really make it make sense. Have a car, have your own little spot. It ain't gonna be whatever you see on IG. That ain't real anyway. But be your own dude. That woman will respect you. Like that's what women want. That's what we want. But we gotta feel secure that you're making the right decisions, even with your 30,000. Like, don't let us come over and the lights is off. Like, bruh, pay your light bill. Have a place to stay. Those are great qualities in a man.
Go ahead, TJ.
I was gonna say something. You say that's what women want. That's what women want. Kind of like emphasize that quite a bit. But it sounds like it's not because there's so much backlash against Jasmine. Like there's so many people on. What was the other? What was the one who first started the backlash clip?
Brittany Renner.
Brittany Renner. So like it sounds like there was more team Brittany Renner than team Jazz. But you're saying that's what women want, but it sounds like it's not.
And so I think and that's a great perspective. That's a great feedback. I believe the reason that it is like that is because number one, let's look at a couple different things here. So number one, I'm a woman that is of a more mature age, right? So I'm like 20 years older than these women. So that's a different thing. Whereas when a woman is 20 years old, and especially if she hasn't been raised in a household with a man or with proper leadership of any kind, that word submission could be a trigger for her. And she hears slave instead of being a lady and being being submissive. So I think that's what's happening on the internet, especially in the age group. Because like B Simone, did she even turn 30 yet? She like 28 or something like that. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love her. And I love, her personality, on the internet. However, we're dealing with really young people. And I believe that word is just very triggering. And if we all could just really have a real conversation instead of soundbite, everybody going off, I think we could really hear, what the real needs are.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. A question I got is kind of a follow-up. And this can go to anybody on the panel. Do you feel like a woman can gain true happiness if she is submitting to her man fully, like Jasmine Brown did? Like, do you feel like she was up, she was honest, she was really saying that that's my joy, I'm fulfilled, all that kind of stuff, or you think that was cap for the thing? You can be honest. You think you really, because I want to know your perspective on that. Go ahead, Shannon. Go, TJ. Go ahead.
Anybody, because I'll jump in. I'll just give my 2 seconds. Before I knew this was Cam's wife, I heard this little rant yesterday as I was driving. I agree with her. Like, it is my joy to love my man as hard as I do. It is my joy. It makes me feel good that when we're around his family and people talk about how radiant he looks, how much happier he looks, all these different things, that's a reflection of my love. That's the reflection of our union and what we have. There's nothing to be embarrassed of that, of the way that I love him or the way that he is, protecting and providing here. There is no shame in that. And I believe that, unfortunately, especially in our community, we have gotten to the point where we shame everything and everybody got to be a boss bitch. Everybody got to be a boss this. Well, damn, even the boss got somebody he submit to, and that's the CEO. Somebody got to run the whole entire company. Somebody's face, somebody's name runs the entire company. So, that's my take on it. I don't think she was lying. I think it was real. And if the young lady is not working, then she's 100% can rub that man's back to sleep every single night. But see, I still work, so I may fall asleep while I'm rubbing his back, but I can rub his back though.
Just muted yourself.
Oh no, I'm done. I was just laughing.
Okay. Go ahead, TJ.
I definitely think she was right on point. She was being honest. And on the flip side of that, what I've never seen, and I've known several of these, I've never seen a woman who tries to make her man be submissive to her happy. I've never seen that, and I've known several women like that where they try to kind of run their man. And what I hear them complaining about all the time is, like he ain't like he's not a man. It's like, well, in a sense, you ain't really letting him be a man, or at least you're trying to degrade his manhood. So yes, I believe that women can be happy submissive if they're choosing to be submissive, found the right man to be submissive.
What about you, Shandy?
Well, I just kind of want to speak on like what Jasmine was saying, how the word submission can be kind of triggering. I think the reason the word is triggering is because of the textbook definition of it. So you can't take a word that has a definition and then spin it to fit your narrative or whatever it is you're trying to push. Submission means under, beneath, subpar.
It doesn't mean subpar. It means beneath. It does mean under and beneath. You're right. I think that what Brittany was just trying to she was trying to make it bigger than it was to kind of justify her position. Yes, what you said before was 100% correct. It is beneath, underneath, that, but it wasn't subpar. Because it's not. It doesn't. I don't feel like it necessarily means that the woman is less than the man. I mean, she's just playing a different position in the relationship.
Yes.
So why the word submission? Why not a different word?
What word would you like to? What would you like to hear? What word would make it? No, I'm just asking. You a woman.
Well,
what word would make it more palatable to the woman?
I asked you first. Why the word submission?
Like I said, I'm okay with the word submission. So I don't know of another word that I would use in this place.
I'm asking, which I think is a valid question. Why the word submission? Why not another word to say, oh, she's just playing her part? Because the word submission means what it means. Do you want me to look it up and read the? And I'm just saying that to speak to what Jasmine said. It's triggering, and I think that is why it's triggering.
I hear you. I'm just trying to figure out why it's triggering. So
because of the textbook definition of it.
Let's pull it up. My boy Angelus. Shout out to the Great Pool Podcast. Let's pull it up.
The prefix sub is what's triggering because it means beneath.
All right, let's look at submission. The action or a fact. Let's read it. Let's read it. The action, a fact of accepting or yielding. Okay, I am. He put two of them in there. Submission, the act or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. They were forced into submission. All right. Next is the action of presenting a proposal, application, or a document or consideration for judgment. Report should be prepared for submission priming. So yes, it does mean like you are giving up authority to somebody for a specific reason. In those connotations, in that context, it could be because you've lost something or you gained something. But I think in the connotation of a Jasmine Brown, she's probably say, I'm submitting to the plan that you have that I feel is a valid plan to keep me, to provide and provision for me and provide some kind of security for me for a long period of time. I think, like you said, I think the word is what's got people up in arms, and I agree. I think I think the word is fine, but I agree. I can see how that word would trigger a lot of women because of the connotations of it. I get that. I'm not
the definition of the word. Period.
Yeah,
let's say someone didn't speak English or they didn't speak any type of language.
Okay,
and then they hear the word submission and they want to go look it up. They're going to read the definition and they're going to comprehend what the definition is. They're not going to say, oh, well, submission means this to that person and that person. It's different for this person and it's different. It is what it is. Yeah. So I think that is why it's triggering. Because if you want to say, oh, I just like to cater to my man, well, why not use a different word? So you're a caterer, or you're a caterer, or you're a pleaser.
Go ahead, TJ.
I still have an issue with the word, just reading that definition, because it's the person is choosing to submit. Can a person be forced into submission? Yeah, but that's not what she was choosing to submit. So again, she could have chose not to. So she wasn't forced into this situation with this $1 million six pack. She chose to.
However, a lot of women are. Let's just be honest. A lot of women are forced into submission around the world, and
that's true.
That's probably another reason why it's triggering.
So you're saying if they came up with a better term, it'd be a lot more palatable to women as far as what the expectation was. Like if they said cater, is cater a better word to use than submission? Like cater to your man. Is it on the same level? Is it what do you think, Shannon?
If we think about the Beyonce song, "Cater to You," that was Destiny's Child. Like everybody loved that song, right? Nobody was pissed off about it or anything else. Women was loving it. We did lap dances on BET Awards. It was more of, yes, these are things that women want to do anyway. I still think it's just a bad connotation around certain words, unfortunately. However, I don't think that word would really change. But she never even used the word submission. So, like, why are we using it right now?
Because that's the terminology that's kind of brought up, to kind of give a little context to it. Everybody know about the manosphere, red pill, blue pill, all that stuff. I'm not going to get into that. There seems to be kind of like this dynamic. For some reason, a lot of content creators are creating like a separation between men and women. They're not trying to make it seem like this is a team that's trying to work together for a common goal. It's like, okay, women are trying to trick men and men are being suckers. Or then the other side is women are shiesty women. That's all about money and status, and men need to watch out. So it's just one of those things where it's a lot of that going on, and submission is kind of like a battlefield that's crept its way up because both sides are saying it for different reasons. Let me get some of these comments or what have you. Okay. What you call it? My boy Angelus at the Great Pill Podcast. Shout out. Go check out the Great Pill Podcast if you haven't. Go do a search. Great Pill Podcast is amazing. He's the cat who got me into this whole podcast thing. He has dope shows and he's a really cool cat. So shout out to my boy Angelus from the Great Pill Podcast. And he wanted to ask the women on the panel, are you submissive women? And I already know the answer to some of this because I asked this of Shannon on one of my first podcasts.
Yeah.
Shannon,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think everything in life has a role, right? Like you can't run everything all the time. However, for me, right, and in our partnership, how things work, like if there's something that he feels like I'm more suited to speak in on, then all of that is considered when we make a decision. So there's times of everything in our lives. And I need people to really like stop trying to debate, especially in our community, because like this is where this is really at. Like, ain't nobody else doing it like this. Like, we gotta stop. Like, just
okay. What about you, Shannon?
By what definition?
Any definition. The definition of what any definition that you might have. I don't want to go by I don't want to go by the textbook definition because, like you said, that's what
the word means. I don't understand why we would change it to be something else.
I'm like, okay, just go ahead, TJ.
Can I ask you this question? Do you have a problem with this statement? Submit to the will of God.
I'm not religious.
Is that a troubling statement to you?
She's not religious.
And the only reason I'm asking, I'm trying to figure out if you have have an issue with the word submission in itself, or just the concept of being submissive to a man.
I don't have an issue with either. But I'm just saying the reason the word is triggering is because of what it actually means. And that's why the girl broke it down in her, or whatever that was. That's why she broke it down. And that's why the actual word is triggering. But am I capable, or am I into doing things for my significant other? Sure. Will I follow him if he's actually leading? Sure. Do I want to be consulted on what's going on in the household financially with the family? Absolutely.
Okay. If he had a history, if your significant other had a history of financial stability and making a significant amount of money, would that still be paramount? Would you still need to have a say or have an idea of what's going on? If you dated a guy who was a CEO of a company, the bills was going to always be paid. It was never going to be an issue with money. Would you feel the need to have that be a part of your relationship?
Absolutely, because I have known of relationships where the women knew absolutely nothing about the finances, right? And then the next thing you know, he's being sued.
Okay.
Next thing you know,
right.
there's a lawsuit, and it's like, oh, he's been scamming all these people. I mean, so and then the wife is like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, but she's on the hook because she's married to him. So if I'm going to give up my last name, and now your credit is my credit. If you got to pay your baby mama, I got to pay your baby mama. You damn right. I want to be involved.
I heard.
Okay, because this is in 1920s. This is 2021, on the brink of 2000 or 2022. We on the
right.
We're already halfway through this year, so.
Okay, so I just want to give a shout out to the people, all the comments I'm gonna get to them, I promise. Like and subscribe. If you were watching this show and you haven't liked and subscribed on your way in the door, we got real beef. So you need to like and subscribe, share, and hit the notifications, because we do it once a week, so you know what's cracking, what's happening with Can I Get Some podcast. Let me just go to another comment. Amy Johnson said, I don't believe it's submission when you, as a woman, wife, allow your husband to be king of the castle. God did create women to be man's helper, and the man is the leader of the home and the family. Anybody got any issue with that? I'm thinking now, when women make statements like that, there's a lot of women thinking with asterisks like, oh, well, he's got to be actually providing and provisioning and protecting. If he hadn't hit a certain level, or he haven't hit these certain points, they don't give him, he doesn't get credit for doing any of that stuff. It's either all or nothing when it comes to that stuff. So that's just my opinion on it. If you guys have a different opinion, I'd welcome to hear it.
So I think Jazz hit the nail on the head a couple comments back, where she was saying, if the man is moving into the woman's home and trying to get her to be submissive, like, yeah, player, like, you kind of got that backwards. So, like, if
and
the
you
man
have a lot of that.
Huh? Say it again.
Not to cut you off, but you have a lot of that. And that's kind of like the issue with this whole back and forth on the internet. It's like a lot of men are in the comments bigging it up, like, yeah, submissive women. But you not in the position. Half of y'all are not in the position. Half of y'all really don't deserve that. Half of y'all will never ever command that. You can't, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, when you are in the position for a woman to be submissive, it will happen organically. It will happen naturally. Okay. But you got people, oh, I want this, I want that, I want. But you playing PlayStation Monday through Friday.
Okay. So 2 things is, number one, there are 16 people watching this show, this podcast, this, and we only got 2 likes. That's ridiculous. We need y'all to go in and go hit that like button. I mean, it don't cost you nothing to just put your finger down there and get the like button. It's nothing. It means nothing to you, but it's a lot to me. It helps with the algorithm. It helps with building up our channel so we can get access to a lot of cool stuff that you guys will enjoy. So we got a special guest. He originally was supposed to come on, and but he fell back for a minute, but now he's here. we're gonna have my boy Angelus of the Gray Pill Podcast step in. He's gonna give his 2 cents. This guy is a real good brother, so I'm gonna pull him up right now. You're not gonna carry him up. You're just gonna have the Gray Pill logo. It's all good.
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right.
It's been a long day,
Angelus?
bro. Hey, how's everybody doing? It's been a long day, bro. So
Hey.
I apologize for not coming up. I still have my whole setup from when we you pretty much jumped in with Suzette Speaks, and I just
Yeah.
I'm all over the house with everything.
It's all good. So what you got to say on the subject, brother? I know you was chomping at the bit. What's up?
What's going on, Shannon? Nobody can't. We can't have the PlayStation. We can't have the Xbox Ones. What's going on?
You sure can, but you're not going to get someone to submit to you.
Even if I'm making 80K, I mean, people, millionaires play PlayStation 2 now.
That's true. That's
Okay.
true. But you know what I was talking about.
I know.
You know I
got
was
to poke the
talking
bear.
about
I
me.
got-
trying to take it out of context.
Hey, I got to poke the bear, okay? It's people out there that actually viewers that's making 80K and plus. There's guys out in the army currently now serving our country in various places of the world, and they have PlayStation. All they do is grind on the game and get their stress relief because they're a woman at home or they're single, so they got to hit the PlayStation games too. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, don't come for their PlayStation, huh? Don't talk about that PlayStation.
That's right. Because I will say this though, when it comes to that, and I don't want to move the goalpost too much, but men have their man cave, and that's pretty much their little release space. You know what I'm saying? So if one brother I know, he actually do have PlayStation and stuff, but he don't be on as much. He's about his grind. But one thing he said he got for himself, he said, hey, my wife and my kids may take all the orange juice, the milk and cookies. I might got a little one swallow left, but the one thing they know is mine that I work my ass off for is that motorcycle. You know, that's this one thing I can say that's mine. Everything else I worked hard for. The house, the car, the food in the house, everything else is for the family. But this is just the one thing for me. So that's why I pretty much poked the bear a little bit with the PlayStation. So some guys need that little one release for themselves, like the women do with the hair, the nails, you know, get their feet.
We do that for
done.
y'all.
Really?
So-
I'll go ahead. I ain't gonna go ahead, bro.
You know, I just want to know. So, do you
Mhm.
prefer independent or more traditional submissive women when you are in a relationship? What is your preference?
I say a little bit of both, especially with the way the world is now. If I come across you and I have my own list, usually I think people have their own list based on their failed relationships, whether it's girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, and husband and wife. Hopefully, people don't have that many failed relationships with a marriage. Just get the girlfriend boyfriend relationship out the way, and if that's your intent is marriage. But I say it's a combination of both and what you're looking for in your preference. You know what I'm saying? Like you got because me, I like to challenge most women when they say they're the boss babes and they're the independent women and they the 80K and plus women. So I was like, okay, well, if you're a man checking all the boxes, you know what I'm saying, on your list, is it okay for you to take that guy that's making a 30, 40K? And most women kind of turn their head, I don't know. I was okay, well, the roles reversed. Now we making the 80K, 100K. They have no problem with that. So it's pretty much a preference.
Okay.
I think every woman is independent until they need that pickle jar.
That part.
Till there's a spider in the house.
That part. 80K boss mindset is out the window.
Nah. No, what you call it? Let me get some more chats in here. Just shout out to people real quick.
Yeah,
All right. So we got Lateria Daniel says interesting topics, great conversation. We appreciate you, Lateria. Thank you so much. Then after that, we got Layla C. Good morning, everybody, with a bunch of cool emojis. We appreciate you, Layla.
Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, my take on it is always been like, I'm just I just like playing devil's advocate. I just want to see how people's mind work. I think, in modern times, a happy medium is going to be some more of an interdependent relationship where you kind of but like I said, there's got to be a head of a household. I really do believe that when ultimately, if you guys are at a stalemate, there has to be somebody whose voice is kind of like the final say if they're displaying everything necessary to show that they have a plan for success and they're working that plan and it's something you can get behind. Um, but I think there's going to be times where you defer to the person's expertise
Correct.
and and in history on certain things, like so I think there needs to be a certain level of that for things to be successful. If somebody is just nowadays, I think it's harder for women. Maybe early on it's not as hard, but when they reach a certain plateau or they reach a certain age and they've made money and they've provided and provision for themselves, for women to just kind of all of a sudden give that up and just kind of totally trust the program. Because I think, and I'm gonna put it on the men. Men haven't been doing a good job of giving women the idea that it's a safe space in order to submit and go along with our programs. So, I concede that men need to step up and provide those safe spaces, but women need to be receptive to it and be able to recognize it and possibly even, early on, work or strategize on how to get to that person who
Correct.
has that kind of mind state.
Correct. And I
So,
will
Can I,
say
can I
this.
mindset.
say something?
Go ahead,
Can I
Shannon.
say something?
Yeah, please.
I would really
show.
appreciate it. I would really appreciate it if the two fellas here would let the men out there know that submission does not mean that you just get to tell her what to do and what not to do just because you're the man, because that is the misconception.
Who hurt you,
And it's like
Shannon?
that's
Who hurt you?
excuse me.
Who hurt you,
You
Shannon?
know what?
Don't do that.
And if someone did hurt me, shame on them.
Yeah. Hey,
But I'm pretty sure. Listen, Mr.
respect
Grayfield,
the lady of the house.
no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm pretty sure each and every single one of us up here has been hurt.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and whoever hurt us, shame on them. But hurt people hurt people.
That is
But
true.
that's another topic. That's another topic.
I
But
will
the
say-
misconception that we're not talking about is a lot of men tend to think that submission means that they get to tell her what to do, what not to do, run the show simply because they are biologically males. And that is not, that's not submission.
I will say this, and you're 100% right on this, Shannon, because it's funny. It's like a three-part. I don't want to drag it out. I remember because I'm pretty much the only
Drag it out.
oddball. I'm like the only oddball in these spaces you talk about, and and this is one thing I'm pretty much proud of my channel, because I don't mind, like in real life, because I hear people say those spaces, and I'm like, this is weird for us and me and my people on the Great Pill Podcast. For us, we were like, hey, in real life, this is not reality. You know what I'm saying? If there's a problem, you can easily just press the button and exit out and live your life. But those people in those spaces don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And then number two, I just had a conversation about that earlier when one guy was said, hey, gave a public announcement to all women saying, hey, don't believe anything all women say, blah, blah. But so a female friend of mine, we had a conversation. And so our breakdown of submission was, again, it's a mutual agreement between the two, because I don't feel like I know everything. I'm not going to say I am. I ask more questions than I can get answers. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I think. So if you're the accountant or you the financial woman, and I don't know how to save, you know what I'm saying, but you're teaching me that's a value in my, for me. But I do feel like if you're looking at me and saying, okay, I'm the man in the house or I'm the husband, we got to understand what that means. So if something comes up in that financial realm and you're the expert of it, I wouldn't say just do it and just not tell me about it. Let's have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Or at least present some options. Say, hey, babe, this is what I came up with. What do you want? How you want to do this? You know what I'm saying? Now, if you feel like I'm gonna make the final say so out of the option that you presented, cool. I can run with that. That's, I think, has to be a conversation within itself. But I may be the only oddball that actually do hold guys accountable, along with Damien too, because we pretty much outside the box of that. You know what I'm saying? He's the the happily married man. I'm the single guy, the quote unquote the guy 304 in the streets, trying to get to that level he at. But it is what it is.
All right. All right.
I just wanted y'all. What you said, everything you said was great, but still, we need to let the fellas that be in the comments know that submission does not mean that you just get to tell her what to do, shut up, go to your corner, be my peace and don't bring up any concerns. That's not what it is. That's
Yeah,
not what
there's the same amount of dutiful that a woman needs to do in order to like curate a space of what's the word I'm looking for? Create a space of peace and serenity. A man needs to do to curate an environment of safety and provision. You can't just because I was born with a penis, so you're gonna submit to me. That's something
Yeah,
else.
because I heard a guy
and let me
say on a
say,
live
as
panel.
women
Right.
need and deserve peace as well. For example, you got a lot of men out here who think it's cool to have a side piece. That's not bringing your woman any type of peace. Okay, when you got somebody calling her phone, and Mr. Graypill, no, this is not my story. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, you got side pieces showing up. You got side pieces having babies. You got side pieces. That's not creating peace. But those same dudes feel like they want peace and they want submission.
I feel like when people, and it's not you, just in general, when I hear majority of people have those conversations, it's like that's only, and not just you. I'm saying speaking of the guys because you asked for whole accountability for the guys, so I'm gonna direct this for that. When and this
Not
one guy,
necessarily accountability, but just know exactly
oh, no,
what
I'm bringing awareness. We're gonna come home with it. I'm bringing awareness.
what it's not.
I remember there's one guy on a live, and he said that quote something similar to what you're saying, that it came to a little more toxic masculinity. He said, "It's my nature to sleep with women. No D control. It's my nature. So bump all
Yeah,
the
I know that was Jay Prince.
Why you doxing people? Why ain't ask for all that?
Jay Prince, the funny thing is, there's this cat that like we jump on many different panels. So you give some context. We both Angelus and I jump on a bunch of different panels. There's about 5 or 6 different panels that I jump on are pretty regular. And this is one cat that. But the thing is, he's not ashamed of it. So it's not like I'm like calling him out or anything like that. He'll be happy that his name got mentioned out there.
Yeah, but he's one of. Yeah, but he's just one of many. You know what I'm saying? I hear this a lot. So it's just funny how it just come out like he's in the forefront, but he's one of many that says that. And and they get questioned a lot. So it's like, okay, what about the consequences of your actions? Right. And then it's like, okay, then why complain after the fact when you get the results that you know in your nature is going to happen to you? So then you're those space, I guess what Shannon talked about, then those the guys screaming the woman got to submit, or the woman know better, the woman got to come home and no hot meal. Well, what's the reason why you didn't get no hot meal when you come home? What's the reason why?
I'm gonna tell you why cats like that always holler about submission is because they don't like their station in life. They don't like where they ended up in life, and they feel like they have to take some power. They feel powerless throughout the entirety of the world, so they feel they have to exert some type of power when they get home. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
That's something where the guy is like I said, he feels insignificant, so he needs to overinflate his significance when he get home. So that's something different. That's a whole different syndrome than and I get it. There's a lot of guys out there that do that. Like I said, they get home, they gotta like yes sir, no sir to the boss all day, but then they want to come home and act like they're doing big things in order to, and they demand some sort of capitulation from the women. I think what more where the expectation should be, and this is just me talking, is that if a man is looking for the type of submission that you get from a Jasmine Brown or what have you, I think that you need to make sure you are providing the type of comfort, not necessarily of a Cam Newton, but a comfort level that where she feels like your plan is something that can sustain them for the long haul. You've got her best interest. You got the best interest of the children in mind,
exactly.
And you are valuing the role that she's playing. I think that's Go ahead, TJ.
I was gonna say, can I ask the women a question since we got 2 in the room with us? Would you guys want a man who is submissive to you, in the same context that we've been using this word the whole time?
Fair question.
You guys.
I want Jasmine. You answer first.
So when you say the word submissive, listen, my guy, he takes in consideration my feelings and different things. Everyone has what they are good at. All of us bring something different to a relationship. So where he guides, he guides. Where he takes in my consideration, he takes in my consideration. So every relationship is different. That's just how I take on it. But in the stance of where we're at with this masculine versus feminine, I'm very mindful of how I answer things because I understand on these YouTube streets, you know, people love to take one thing and run with it.
Oh
They'll make
Lord.
it sound like, oh, you trying to punk the man, you trying to do this, and then it's like, fam, you ain't hear nothing I said. You ain't hear nothing I said. Come live a day with me for real in real life, and you'll see. But yeah, no, I believe that respect is both ways. And there will be times that, and there are times, like, because I'm a valuable ass partner. So yeah, even if I worked at a job somewhere, my boss has always consulted with me. I'm not no ding dong. I'm definitely somebody that you will value, and he does value. So it's not a submission and do what the hell I say do right now type of thing, but I do bring value to our relationship. So
No, what about him though? That's why he's trying to focus on
yeah,
him.
that's what I said. Yeah,
Okay.
I do bring value to our relationship. So there are many things that he do talk to me about, and we do make decisions together.
Is that
All right.
submission or is that just kind of like
Well,
collaboration?
Okay, that is a collaboration. But
Yeah.
like, what would he do?
Submission would be like he came to you. He's expecting you to create the plan of success and abundance for the family. He is sitting up there like, baby, just tell me what you need me to do. I'll do it, but I need you to kind of like run things and like put us on a path for our long term success or what have you. I need you to do that. Could you respect and would you want to be in that type of environment?
Let's keep it all the way a buck. Let's keep it all the way a buck, especially in
Please.
our community. Most women have done that to be able to get a plan on in place, right? Because if we have seen it, just like Shannon used as an example, where you look up and your husband is getting freaking sued because he didn't scammed all these different people. Then shit, you don't allow him just to jump right back in with that same track record, babe, let me come alongside. Let's figure out how do we do X, Y, and Z. Let me try to help with finding the right attorney or whatever the case may be. There's always a different role for each and every one of us. And sometimes, honestly, people haven't saw how to appropriately lead, and they may need that woman to really be like, babe, well, this is what this need to look like, and until he get his footing in the relationship. But again, that goes to so many different things. Like we're speaking so hypothetical because I'm a woman in my 40s, so that's a lot freaking different.
okay,
than
can I actually? Well, let me ask you this then. Since you said, just on your experience, have you? Because again, since you're saying spaces, and in your experience, have you seen women that are quote unquote boss babes, or make the over 60 something K, but hold their man down, but at the same time still treat them as a man?
hold them down in what
The
regard?
same way a man will hold down a woman.
Like pay for everything, provision, provide, all that kind of stuff like that. And
Hell
still
no, not no
Okay,
more.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Thank you, T. Answer
I
your
had to
question,
see through
T.
my
That's
girlfriend
your
real quick.
question.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
How about you? How about you, Shannon? The question. Let's move to Shannon. Could you like? Could it be the other way around? Could you respect and a man who look to you to kind of set the pathway and set the plan for you guys' long term relationship success?
Okay, let me answer the other question first, please. The other
Okay.
question was, do I or how do I need my man to submit to me, or
No, the
would
question
I
was, could you respect?
Yeah.
could I respect? Okay, everybody knows who Killer Mike is, right?
I know who Killer Mike is.
Okay,
Not really.
Killer Mike told the story of when he wanted to purchase a car that was worth a lot of money, like 80 grand or something like that, right?
It
Something
was more than that. It
ridiculous.
was 250 grand. Yeah, I remember it.
Okay. I vaguely remember, but okay.
Yeah.
So his woman, I don't think she was his wife at the time. I'm not sure, but his woman stepped in. Well, he consulted. He didn't just go and do that. He consulted his woman, his partner, and she told him, nah, no, absolutely not. You need to invest that money in this apartment complex. He did it. And he's grateful that he did that. He's grateful that she gave him that plan for him to follow. And it led to great success. So that's a definition of a man consulting his woman, treating her like a partner, and submitting to her vision. And it worked.
Yeah.
On that one aspect, but maybe let me try to simplify the question. Could you have a house husband?
A house husband.
Yes, like housewife, but a house husband.
Yeah.
So he's a dude who does laundry.
I'm a 9-to-5 guy. I'm off for the weekends. You're making $80K, 100. You're the business woman.
No, he's not a 9-to-5 guy. He just does not have a job. But his job, his job is to curate the place of peace. Switch roles with you, where he is. Your dinner's gonna be made.
I can't at least have a part-time job.
No, we're talking about a house husband, where your job is to curate the home for you.
I mean, that actually works. That actually happens, and it works for a lot of people. I mean, it just depends on the individual.
Does it work for you?
I've never had to be in that. I've never been in that situation. I was never married. No.
And it's all right if it does. Yeah, it's all right if it doesn't, because it doesn't. It probably won't work for 80% of the women.
Well, I mean, I'm well into my 40s. That situation would never happen because I'm way beyond having kids. You know.
And that situation can only work if there was kids involved. There's no way a woman would respect a dude who stayed at home if he wasn't taking care of kids. If he was just cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry, there's no way. I just don't believe a woman would respect a dude who that was his job, was no job.
Well, yeah, I don't know why a woman needs to stay at the house if there's no kid. I thought women usually stayed at the house
when there's kids involved
because the children they need someone at home. So I thought that was the main reason for a housewife, which a lot of men will tell you that fulfill that role, that's a hard job. That's no walk in the park.
Like Jasmine was telling you was telling us about a story about a dude who just wanted his wife at his beck and call. We won't get into detail. we'll save that for the Patreon. What exactly the links that he was talking about, but he was like, he threw away the brooms because he didn't want no reason for her not to be accessible to be there when he needed her to be there. I mean, he was like some people, that type of situation where a guy, if he's high status enough, stressed out enough, and he's like, look, your job is to just relieve my stress in whatever way I deemed you to relieve my stress. Whether it's rub my feet, whether it's rub my back till I fall asleep, whether it's sex, whatever. I just need you to be there to manage my stress and cultivate a environment of peace for me, because I'm out in these streets fighting corporate, making millions of dollars or whatever like that, and I just use my home to be the place where I can just completely and totally unwind with no issue. Then there's guys that will do that with there's no kids involved. But
so why even have a woman? Why not just be single? Like what's more peaceful than being rich and single? Right?
Well, I mean, going out with different women is stressful. It can be stressful.
I mean, but some men actually don't. Some men would disagree that it's actually very peaceful.
I mean, it's like I said, it's peaceful to what's called. But I'm just saying, if I think that's why you asked the question, what would be the circumstance for a man to want to get married or have that if he's with no children involved. That would be a circumstance. Some guys are really looking for to come home to a house that's been totally curated for peace, tranquility, and service to whatever they need. Some dudes, if you have enough money, you can make that happen for yourself.
I'm gonna be honest. If you're that type of caliber of guy, you're gonna get it whether you want or not. So the woman that wants that, I guess that mutual respect, that I guess me and Shannon was talking about earlier, it's not gonna happen with that type of guy. That's just me. That's borderline, quote unquote. I don't want to say the word, slavery, but that's pretty much how I feel it. If I'm telling a woman, it's not even an expectation. It's just like, this is the list. I need this required when I come home on the dot. You got to get it done. Then crap, you might as well just go ahead and fly out in another country and get somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? And have some papers signed up. But you could do it here too. But that's a whole type of different caliber of a guy.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jazz? That's what you about to say.
Yeah. So yeah, those.
Hey, TJ, let Jazz jump in there.
Go
I see she was about to say something. Go ahead.
No, you can let Mr. TJ go. That's cool.
Go ahead.
I'll just ask that house husband question just to see, because it seems to me that neither one of y'all would want that. So I'm assuming that's the submissive. I'll put that word in quotes against the submissive lifestyle seems more conducive. It's because you don't want a man at home playing that female role, and I'm
Correct.
Putting all quotes.
I'm even negotiating like part-time work, Shannon. You know what I'm saying? You can be the boss babe, and I work part-time, get the house good. Cook. She like,
all right.
Listen, I prefer balance.
Okay. What's balance for you?
It's balance. To be honest with you, so this whole thing with masculinity versus femininity, like me, for some reason, in any relationship that I've been in, I'm always better at fixing things. Anything that gets broken, I'm good at fixing it. I'm always better at using nails, screws, wrenches, things of that nature. And I don't know why, but I'm good at fixing things. So usually if something gets broken, I don't need to call anybody. I will figure out how to fix it. Whether it's fooling with it for an hour or getting on YouTube, I usually am the one to fix things. So a lot of people would say, well, that's a man's role. A man should be doing that. I'm better at it. I'm better at it.
Okay.
I'm better at fixing things.
I mean, it's just like, and I think,
okay.
And were you gonna say something, Jazz? I want you to be able to make sure you get your point that you were going to say out.
Yeah, so I wanted to speak real quick, even though I'm not going to dive into it heavy because that is for another show. But as far as my friends' marriage, they've actually been happily married. Well, marriage is marriage. But they've been together almost 20 years, and that was both their agreement, right?
Nice.
And even she does work. And she has a really good damn job. Like, she make more than a lot of people. But it's just something for her, like, so she can get out the house. It was something that was important to her. If he had his wish, she wouldn't. But, that was something that's important to her. And they're still banging and doing their relationship. So I just don't want it to be taken out of context. And yeah, their relationship is very unique to them. And the level of success he's been able to obtain to be able to, have that type of lifestyle for himself. But he comes from a 2-parent home. So that's what he's used to, is 2 people being in a home. So naturally, that's what he wanted, was a wife, because that's what he saw his mama be.
Before anybody says something, I just got to give a shout out to our boy, Papi Blanco, the man of the myth, the legend. So what up, P? Good to have you on board. So, all right, sorry. Let me go ahead and get some final thoughts, because we're going to be ending it probably pretty soon. So let's start off with you, Angelus. What give me your final thoughts on the subject, the topic matter, anything that you've anything new that you probably realize, any realizations or anything like that? What's your final thoughts?
I'm gonna stand on my square with anything, bro. I mean, unless it change in 10 years from now, it is what it is. It just come down to uh, just to both of the clips. Uh, Brittany Renner, at least she's honest about what she want. So anybody come confront to her, you just got to meet those requirements. It's pretty much it is what it is. And then to the other clip, it's like a polar opposite, right? But again, it's different people's perspectives. Because one woman, I think, like how I think a little bit how Shannon said, because I think Shannon's like a mixture of two. She's like, hey, Mrs. Fix It, but at the same time, I'm cool trying to take care of my man too. You know what I'm saying? If he meets those requirements, I got him. Type deal. But the woman in the clip was like, "Hey, I love to be there for my man. I love this. If I'm cooking for him, the foods that he's enjoying what I'm doing for him. I can understand." And that's the bond she had. That was something deep. When she said, especially the part when she said, "I know when he's sleeping how he sounds." And I was like, "Okay, that's what's up," because I haven't heard that in a long, long time. But as far as everything else goes, I really don't put too much emphasis on submission because I'm pretty much like the rest of the ladies. Like it's just a word. I hear it more so on those quote unquote spaces. I don't really hear it in real life. It's either you with me or you with me. You down for me? You down for me? I'm down for you. That's what I hear. Final thoughts on it
Absolutely.
is just you pick and choose who you want. Fellas, if you find a woman and she meets the requirements, the same thing like ladies saying, hey, what am I submitting to? What am I putting myself for? You ride with me like I'm riding with you. If there's no, especially quote these spaces again, learn how to take the L's because I've been seeing so many L's from these fellas, but unfortunately, it's hurt people mentality. But they do it even louder because it's media, louder because it's on YouTube. So they try to make it true. So trust me when I tell you, Shannon, they out there. But unfortunately, it's like the little guys like myself and a few other people, we actually speak against it. And when we do say, hey, that's not 100% true, we get the yelling, the backlash, and then some. But I'll leave it like that. It's each his own, man. It's each his own.
Yeah.
Everybody just
People
got
like
to
to
vet. Huh?
people like to throw that simp word around a lot in the manosphere and on these panels that we get on. Anything you say that's in
I can't. Yeah, I
affirmative
can't. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm telling you, if Shannon Jazz, if she said like a whole page, right? There's one thing I agree with, or one thing they will take one word they say and just not just move the goalpost. They'll uproot it and snatch that sucker and run with it, right? And I could be that one guy's like, bro, you just moved the goalpost. That's not what she said. Oh my god, these women and
You're a simp. You're a
oh my god.
simp.
Oh my god,
Oh
I can't
man, I
stand
get on
it.
this one. I get on this one. I get on the Fight Club, and Angry Man calls me a simp every day. Every day. Oh, who gonna
But yet
simp
you win
today?
it. Even if the woman on one panel, right? She could have been like just if you muted the button, just looking at her hand motions, she could have been the most ratchet chick ever, right? But guess what? She's a 10-year marriage. She got a great family, all great values. You know what I'm saying? And I heard her voice. I just told her she reminded me of home. You know what I'm saying? Back up north, that New York, that Jersey feel. And I couldn't argue with her. Guess what? Because she's winning. She's married. She's happily married. She got the family. She's doing her. So how am I judge you? Obviously, your formula works for you.
Yeah. All
I'm the
right.
one. I'm the one single. So what
All
am I
right. All
mad for?
right. Good talk. Good talk. All right, Jazz. What is your final thought? What are you thinking about what's going on? Have you come to any type of realizations? Have you anything new, or is this all like par for the course stuff you already knew?
No, I mean, I like to take away something new every single time, right? So my biggest thing is instead of us getting caught up on one word, whether it's submission or whatever, just let's just look at what works for you. So I'm of the same like Shannon is, like I'm very handy. And that's only because to know who my daddy and my granddaddy is, if I don't know how to do something, that's like weird. That means I'm not really related to them. So it's just, certain things I just know how to do. However, being his woman, that's a whole nother thing. And I enjoy the space that we're in. And I just don't think people should tell other people how to be in their relationship. If you want to be the woman that you do every single thing for him, wipe his nose and all of that, baby, go ahead and do that, right? But if you the woman who, you want to be single or whatever, do that too. I just think we need to get past like this this energy of like being combative and things like that. And being combative, and just like get to love. We have to get back to that. Let's just get back to loving each other, and the rest of this stuff will work itself out, man. We ain't got to be stuck on words no more. Let's just learn how to love ourselves and each other.
Cool. Hey, before I'm gonna move over to my man TJ, I just want to give a shout out to Chanel right up in this piece. You know, anytime you come up, Chanel, I'm gonna have to say what's up to you, what have you, because we love you up in here. Oh, we got Brandy up in here. Brandy Simmons up in here. We appreciate you coming to check out the podcast. Thank you so much. All right. Oh, but let me quickly. She's agreeing with you, Shannon. She wrote, "Hell, I'm handy too." Till the man pulls up, then ATP it's on him.
Oh Lord.
All right.
That's just an example of how the world has changed so much. I mean, this is 2022, right? So women are a lot different now versus 1920. I mean, back then, I understand that women probably needed to submit because, I mean, during those times, women couldn't do much without men, but it's not like that anymore. So at this point, I feel like, whatever works for you, rock with it. But I do also realize too that a lot of stuff that we see on the internet is strictly to go viral. And I mean, this is a hot topic, to get conversation going, to get a battle going, you know what I'm saying? It definitely drives traffic to those, so take it with a grain of salt, I say, and whatever works for you, works for you.
I learned something about jumping on these panels. If you have a definitive position and you stand on it, that's where you make, you can get the followers and you get the likes and stuff like that. If you can kind of vacillate through, if you can you stay in the middle, what have you and can see both ways, people don't rock with you as much, but sometimes you just got to be true to yourself or what have you. So let me go say some what's up to me. So we got my man Caterpillar said, great conversation. Yes, it was a great conversation. These people came up with some cool stuff to say. I really appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with us. And then we got dangerously active. I bring my women a sandwich. That's what's up. If you're hungry, bring her a sandwich. Which ain't nothing wrong with bringing nobody a sandwich. But as long as it's reciprocated, where you want a sandwich too, you get you a sandwich as well. I'm a strong believer in that. Go ahead, TJ. What's your final thoughts on the situation?
Hey, great conversation from everybody. Definitely appreciate y'all. So final thought. So I do believe after having this conversation that women still prefer to have the choice to be submissive if they so choose to the right man. And just like almost every argument you ever have in your life, we're having a semantical argument about the word submission, under, beneath. But I think women, at least the women on this panel, prefer to be under the protection in a safe space of the right man. So again, I don't have anything with that or any issue with that word submission. As long as it happens organic, like we all kind of said, and in my opinion, a beautiful thing if done correctly.
That's what's up. All right. So my final thoughts on is like, I agree with a lot of things people were saying. I disagree with a bunch of stuff other people were saying. But what I think it finally comes down to with me is that I think the relationships in the modern age, I think a lot of people who bring up the submission are talking about like the way that it was years ago, but things have changed. I think the only way like somebody can expect the kind of stuff that Jasmine Brown was getting is if they're provisioning and providing like a Cam Newton can provide. There's no way the average guy should go in expecting that, because you're going to be sorely disappointed, not only in yourself, but in the partner, because you probably won't get it. And it's going to frustrate you to all hell that you're not getting it. So I think the relationships that work in a modern age, there's different degrees of it, but I think are more dependent relationships where you kind of defer to somebody's skill set and their history and their expertise to kind of come up with the best plan of action for you. I think it was Angela that just said, like, if you're good at making money and she's good at counting money, that's what's up. come together to form a plan of action to make sure that money goes a long way. If you're good at catching fish and she's good at cooking fish, that's what's up. And vice versa. It can be the other way around too. If she's good at cooking fish and you're good at she's good at catching fish and you're good at cooking fish, kind of defer to somebody's strong points. And that's what I think is going to be what kind of propels you into a long-term relationship, keeps everything going, keep the wheels on the track. So, so my final thoughts for you cats who are looking for all this submission: get your bag up. Get your bag up, and you'll get to the submission that you're looking for. Get your bag up. For all the rest of us who are kind of looking for like a more of a partnership, because like you said, who can admit we don't know everything, and we value other people, our partners' input, because that's why we picked them. Keep rocking with it. And for all you women out there that's providing provision for your men, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all crazy? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, seriously. I think both people need to step up and kind of like look at themselves, both men and women, to kind of determine if the things that they're doing as far as expectations for submission and providing are realistic and are helping you guys make things happen. So that's all I got to say. I want to say thank you for everybody in the chat. Thank you for everybody who's been watching. If you haven't, like I said, if you haven't liked and liked and subscribed and shared this, we got real beef, but I still love you. I give you a second chance. Just go down and hit the like, subscribe, and share button, and leave a comment. Like, we do this every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So if you have a comment, there's a topic that you think, what, I want to see have the can I get some duo of Dame and Shannon kind of tackle this, we will definitely try to fit that in, try to make something happen for you. I always got to do this because we appreciate her so much. So Jazz, I'm always got to shout you out and promote your situation. Jazz is an amazing woman, and I'm gonna tell you why. She is a businesswoman, a author, and she creates spicy content on OnlyFans. If you really want to see how she gets down, she's not just a smart woman with some good ideas on how to keep her relationship going. She puts it down for you. So I'm gonna shout her out real quick. If you guys want to see what Jazz is working with, this is her OnlyFans. Go ahead, subscribe, give her some love. I'm sure she will show it back. So go ahead, check her out. And she is definitely a welcome and regular part of this show. That's value. And I just want to give I want to give a shout out to my co-host, Shannon. She is it's just been a pleasure working with her so much. She's just come up with a lot of great ideas to help move this podcast forward. She is definitely my road dog, partner in crime when it comes to this whole podcast thing. So we appreciate you. We love you guys, and we out until next time. But like I said, next time we're probably gonna do something a little bit more spicy when it comes to the content. So you're gonna have to just tune in and see exactly what that's up to. So we gonna holla.